It's Monday. We've got a new sign. This is EveryTrade Behind the Build, episode 7. Episode 7. It's flying. The views on the last video were amazing. We did as many views in 2 days as we did almost the whole week before. There wasn't enough comments for my liking, and I really do love the comments. I love not necessarily just the positive feedback, but just people telling me that they're resonating with certain bits. Lots of people resonated with the therapy stuff. I mean, that has been impactful. So even to this day, 2 weeks later, people are still mentioning that chat. And I want to be honest, there's so much more that I want to give. I want to talk about the ins and outs of business in a way that people haven't been honest before on YouTube. When I first had this idea to get into the YouTube game, and I realised I was a lot later than other people, I thought, what we're missing? And I feel like what was missing was the open and honest, right from the coal face of being in business, someone that was prepared to talk about what it's like to have cash flow issues, owe the tax man money, struggle with jobs, struggle with recruiting. And I've got so much that I want to bring to the table. To be honest with you, it's a bit of a battle holding back. I want to tell you everything now, but I think that might be a long and boring video. So the challenge is I'm going to have to put it week by week. And as I say, our ambition for this channel is to get to 2 videos a week. So yeah, this week, another busy week. We've got all sorts going on. New jobs starting, Dale, the mechanical side, flying, and who knows where we'll end up. But we're just going to tell the story day by day and see where we end up. So what have we got here then? So I've done a bit of a mad deal. Someone called us last week saying they'd had an accident with this Nissan Navara. The bonnet, believe it or not, flew up. The guy was driving, he had his son in the car and smashed the windscreen. It was on the motorway. He's managed to get it to safety and pull over. Thank God they're okay. And he asked us for a price to repair it. Anyway, we priced it up for him, and it doesn't stack to repair it at all. It's just not worth it. It's like a 2008 plate. So for some reason, I've just said, look, we'll just buy it off you. And we worked out what you get on We Buy Any Car, and we've paid that for it. So I've got an idea. I'm going to get Dale, task Dale, to get this, because it's not a bad motor. It's not got super high miles. The interior's got leather and stuff like that. I'm going to get Dale to go to work on it. And I think we're going to soup it up and spray it black, get it looking mean, and then we'll use it on the plant hire side of the business. And I don't know what it's going to cost us, but I want to bring it for content to the channel, because I think it'll be quite interesting. Like, literally, I won't tell you yet, but we literally paid next to nothing for it. And God knows what it'll be worth when it's done, but we're not going to sell it. We're going to do it. I want to get into that kind of thing. I want to just have fun with bits and pieces. So yeah, another bit of content coming to the channel. We're going to see what we can do with this Nissan Navara. And I've actually just cut myself on the glass. So we've had an initial look round it, and mechanically, Dale tells me it's not in bad condition, but it'll need MOT in, and there's we reckon, about £1,000 worth of parts need buying. We're going to put new big chunky wheels on it. We're going to spray it all black, really sort of murder it out, and just have some fun with it. And then if it's decent and it turns out well, then we're going to use it in the fleet for doing sort of plant collection and delivery, and I don't know, or maybe I just doing it for the fun of it, but something a bit different. But have a look. It definitely needs a bit of TLC. Whatever happened here, I don't know, but something's come out here, and this has come loose and flown up. It's like something you see on Top Gear. So he's had to gaffer tape it to get it back. But actually looking at it, and the little I know about it, it's like the interior's mint. And as I say, it's got semi-low miles for its age. And we're not going to put high miles on it if we keep it. Something's happened here, and it's like it's been bogged and repaired, but Dale thinks we can do a proper job on it and make it look really mean. That's what we want. So yeah, we'll see, and we'll bring it to you on the channel, like I said, and it should be good, interesting, something a little bit different. All I've got to worry about now is Dale finding the time to do it. So it's safe to say that Dale's got his work cut out on that project there. I can't decide whether we'll do it and try and sell it, or do it and just keep it, because it could be a pretty handy vehicle to have that, especially if we decide to grow the plant hire side of the business more. We've had a look and priced up the parts, and you know what, it's probably not worth it, but we'll do it because I also think it might be good content. And I hope you guys don't mind some of the sort of mechanical engineering side of things that we're bringing to the channel, but I'm just trying to make the type of content that I'd want to watch. And I love watching stuff with a mechanical edge. I love Baz and a few other channels where you actually see, I find it really therapeutic. And I am not mechanically minded, but I've learned so much from YouTube. YouTube's almost like a university in your pocket, is what I say. Kids today, they literally can go in the pocket and learn anything. I basically learned everything I know from YouTube. I dread to think what my Google search history, imagine a customer seeing that, what is a brick? But I've done all right because of it. You remember last week, and a few weeks now, we've showed you progress on one of our extension projects, the one with all the piling. Well, finally, the brickies and the boys have cracked on, and we're now fitting the block and beam floor. So I'm glad that job is now finally taking shape. I reckon we've got about a week on the brickwork, so the guys will throw that up pretty fast, and then we've got a pipeline of work backed up, ready to try and catch up on. We try and plan our jobs around the brickies because we found that was our pinch point. We've got good brickies that work for us, but that is what we were short of. We've got a great team of joiners, we've got ground workers, all the other trades that follow through, but we've struggled to find good brickies, and I think that's probably the way it is in the industry. You might have seen me talk around this place before. This is our little breakout area that I've formed for the team. And I tell you what, let it not be said that I don't cater to my team. We've got a little grill. I've got a little George Foreman rip off here, an air fryer. If you come round here, which you might have seen before, not one but two microwaves. But the most important tool in a builder's armoury, the kettle. I'm thinking about getting one of those hot water on demand taps here, but we need some of this YouTube money to come in first, if it ever comes in, who knows. But we do it for the love. That's it for Monday anyway. See you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning. I'm on the way to HQ. Just dropped off my babies at school. I've said this previously, but I feel honoured to be able to take my kids to school. Honestly, it's such a pleasure. Like that little 10 minutes we get in the car, it's a bit chaotic some days, but that little 10 minutes we have, I think they'll remember forever, and I certainly will. I've got a 14-year-old from a previous relationship, and it's great, I see her all the time. That's probably another story, that one. But I missed out a lot of growing up, certainly like the simple moments, because I was so busy trying to build this. I set this business up because of her. I remember I was in another career, which again I will talk about another time, unhappy. It's a career that I thought I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and I basically I just one day I had an epiphany. I thought, I'm 25, I'm going to be a dad out the blue, and I thought I want to do something else. I want to give my kids a better life, and it was that sort of life-changing event which made me set up this. And honestly, I owe her everything, because if it wasn't for her, I probably would have persevered with my last career that I was unhappy in. And I was doing okay, I was on the rise, but I never would have got half the opportunities, and I never would have experienced half the life experiences I've had up to now. I remember like getting that call finding out I was going to be a dad at the age of 25. I was like young, carefree. I was sort of single, and I got this call saying I'm pregnant. I was like, wow, that was it. I was not ready. I didn't own a house. I had a very unsteady job, albeit, it was what I wanted to do. And I was like, wow. And I remember I was like in a daze for weeks, just like trying to process things. And then I just thought, you know what, I'm going to own the situation, I'm going to do it. So I was sat in traffic one day, And I thought, what can I do? And I was with my uncle at the time, who was a electrician, but the recession had just hit in 08, 09, and he was really quiet, and I was just sort of hanging around with him a bit, and we were buying and selling cars randomly, which is weird considering what I'm trying to do now with the mechanic side. I've always had a bit of an interest in cars, and I just said, I want to start a building firm. And he's like, oh, there's a million of them about every other van on the roads, builders van. I was like, no, but there's this idea I've got about offering every trade, one company, every trade. And we got talking, and I managed to persuade him to come in with me to do it. And it sort of just went. And I remember, like, we didn't have any work for ages. The idea originally was doing like handyman stuff at first, just trying to get on the market, just trying to get out there doing it. So we had about £400 each between us to our name. Honestly, it was ridiculous thinking back now. And there was a radio station locally to Stockport, and you could buy adverts, and they weren't that expensive, surprisingly. I think it was like £50 an advert, and you had to buy them in blocks of like 5 or something. Anyway, we bought like 400. We actually ended up buying £1,000 worth of adverts, and we didn't have the money to pay for it, but we gambled, and we did some adverts. And I remember hearing the name of our company. It was like rubbish as well. I just went into it wrong, hearing the name of our company on the radio, and yeah, slowly but surely we started getting work opportunities. And then we had some leaflets printed. Again, I knew someone that was in printing, and he did some leaflets for 20 quid, like 1,000 leaflets. And I remember we were delivering them, and I remember having like tears in my eyes thinking, I'm going to be a dad in months. This has to work. And then we were delivering the leaflets to this guy's house, and he said, oh, do you do waste removal? And we were like, yep. And we didn't, but we had an old trailer, or we knew where we could get an old trailer, and we charged him 25 quid. I think we snuck it into the tip. But anyway, that was our first job. Actually, tell a lie, that was our second job, because we had one job before that, where, again, this is another story, but we went to an old lady's house, and she wanted some bits and bobs doing, tying up a tap, really handyman stuff. And we did it. We went in there and we priced the job on 2 hours worth of work, did it, smashed it in less than 2 hours. I was like, oh, brilliant. I was dead proud of ourselves. That was our first job we got going. And as we were walking out the room, I went to pull the pull cord, and I pulled the pull cord and pulled the ceiling down. I'm not joking, you couldn't write it. So then basically we were there for the rest of the day sorting that out and didn't make any profit. You'd think at that point there, I'd think, oh, this isn't for me, but no, we kept going. And if I hadn't kept going, I don't know where I'd be now. I don't know what I'd be doing really. I reckon that I'd be pretty successful in whatever I did, because I'm all about graft over talent, and I'd always back myself to work harder than anyone if I needed to. I mean, I pulled some mad shifts. I think I've done 22 hours working straight before now, and that's it. You can't outwork someone that's got the bit between the teeth, that's so focused. And I knew that I couldn't fail, because I was going to be a dad, and I've had that loads throughout my career. But here we are. I just thought maybe it'd be interesting to give you a little bit of an insight into how I got started. Maybe if people are interested, we'll do a full video, because there's loads. You wouldn't believe how we got started, and you probably wouldn't. The fact that we've got all this going on now, and multiple businesses and 40 guys, and where we are now, it was all started from an idea, sat in traffic, and it was all started from my spare bedroom. Anyway, let's get this day dealt with. You remember, or you might remember, for the OG 6 episodes ago, in the very first episode, we showed you that we had a Tiger Bite crusher. A lot of you might be aware of them. They're a small, compact crusher what you can use on site. We're on to our second one now. We had them pretty much from the start, and they're a great little machine, but we've had a few issues with it. And I found out last week that the crank on the engine had gone, whatever that means. And what I've decided to do is send it back to Tiger Bite to have them change the engine for a petrol engine, change the diesel for a petrol engine, because apparently this is a better option. The only issue is we've had to try and manoeuvre it from site and get it onto their trailer. So that's happening right now. So that's it, Tiger Bite on its way. They're a great little machine then, but they're made for the hire market, and every time we put it out to hire, the people hiring it often have damaged it or whatever. So apparently this engine upgrade is going to make it a lot more rugged and less susceptible to damage by the hirer. It's been out a lot, and I'd say it's earned its money, definitely. And it was the crusher we had before we had the bigger crusher. So yeah, we're going to get it repaired, send it back down to Tiger Bite. They're going to put this new engine in. They've done us a fair deal, and hopefully have that back by the end of the week, if possible, because we've got hires this weekend. If not, I'm going to have to move them hires. That's the thing about being in the plant hire market, and that's probably why we've not gone into it full blast, because it's this issue. Now we've got Dale, we've got more chance of getting things maintained, repaired, but typically stuff going out on hire gets misused, and if you're not set up for it, yeah, that's just what you're dealing with. But here's what it is. Speaking of machines, Dale, you remember last week I was sat on my little trusty micro there. Dale's gone to go and collect that and try and dig it out and get it back on the trailer and bring it here, because we're going to give it a little bit of TLC, which we'll talk about tomorrow. So I'm all about creating a nice working environment in the office. However, I've just come back upstairs and there's a football pitch. Hey, megged him! There's a football pitch erected. So, Jay, why is there a football pitch in our office?
Just sorting my drawers out for tonight.
What, these new nets? Yeah. Yeah, how much have you spent on these?
70 notes.
70 notes, yeah? And this is the guy, and I won't ever forget it. Once I drove him all the way to Southport, pulled over, and I said, can you buy me a cup of tea from Greg's? At the time it was 99p, and he wouldn't buy it me. Made me transfer him 99p. What? Yeah? Do you still want that 99p? I actually did do it, didn't I? I've sent it you already, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, go on, Jay, you're dismissed. But yeah, there's a football pitch in the office at the moment. But it's really raining outside, so what is good, again, our system really kicking in. All the updates are coming in from site now. So it means that I can look on the system and see, like, for example, this extension job here, the drainage has gone in, it's been backfilled, and the plaster is cracking on, which is great. So the power of information and the software that we've got really means that I can be across all our sites and the whole business without ever having to get my hair wet. So that's Tuesday coming to a close. Good day, been quite office based the last couple of days. Nothing to do with the rain and my hair frizzing up, but I like those days where I can just literally get down and focus. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle when the day is really kicking off to sit down and actually work through emails and just deal with tasks that if you don't get them dealt with, they just escalate and they fester and then they become bigger problems. So I've really had a day of just drilling down, doing boring stuff, which is way too boring for YouTube, but stuff that needs doing. That is my job at the end of the day, is to make sure these businesses are heading in the right direction. And I'm someone that is quite limited when it comes to like focus and stuff like that. I just love starting things. I love working, speaking with people, growing things, getting businesses moving. Actually, like boring, sat behind a desk, unless I'm being creative, I really put things off and I procrastinate. And that's something that I've had a big problem with. It's something that I've worked through with my therapist, is procrastination. And I've realised the reason I procrastinate on things is because I'm worried that I won't do a good job, or I'm worried that I won't finish it, so I just don't start it. When actually what you should do is just keep plugging away, keep chipping away at things. And some of the best things I've achieved building this business and the other bits and bobs that we do is when I just started to do something, just kept plugging away, you know, recruiting people. I could have like given up when I recruited the first estimator. The first estimator I ever took on didn't work out. You know, on paper he had the best qualifications, way more than Danny, but character-wise and personality-wise just didn't fit with the culture of this business. Whereas I recruited Danny, who's probably nowhere near as qualified and as experienced. He's turned out to be 100 times better. I mean, what Danny and I built there with the systems and the detail we go into with our estimates has made us so much more efficient, so much more profitable. And yeah, so, you know, you just got to start something and you've just got to keep plugging away. And sometimes it's 2 steps back, 1 step forward. Sometimes you'll jump forward 3 steps. But honestly, in business, it's all about progress. It's a word I've found myself saying loads on these things. It's just about progress. If you just literally move forward that little extra 1% each day, you'll get to where you want to be, 100%. But yeah, every now and again, some of these days on this YouTube channel are going to be me sat in the office working, but that's what I do, you know. But it's something that, it's a life that I've chosen. You know, I haven't got someone telling me when I can go home, when I can, you know, when I need to not have a holiday and things like that. I'm setting out my own agenda, and I'm also, the people that work around me, I'm creating an atmosphere for them that makes their lives, their working lives fun, rewarding and productive. But that's it. Phone's ringing. Another day at EveryTrade. See you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Wednesday. I'm at our storage facility deep in the heart of Stockport. And look, we can see the floor. Warren and Terry have been in here organising pretty much everything into a place. So everything now has got its place. We're still tweaking it and there's still quite a bit to do. The guys got another couple of days here. But honestly, we've had to throw so much away. Stuff that, yeah, one day you might need, but realistically, you're never going to use, and you're just paying for storage space. And what that's actually doing is hiding stuff that you might actually use. So at the moment, so for example, this is stuff that we always use on our student stuff every summer. We had loads, we always overbuy. I mean, look, we've got 500,000 bins, just not needed, but they'll be used on the next project. And now we know they're here, we won't buy more, because that's what happens. And we're all like, for example, roll and stroll, loads of it. Every job we go in, we like to create a way from the front door to the work area, and we've got the stuff here, but we always end up buying it. I buy it all the time. So literally, we've still got loads of empty space, which is good, because we're going to keep working our way through it and segregating. For example, if you come over here, we bought all this racking. I managed to get this racking from a merchant that was literally throwing it away. They wanted pennies for it, and I bought it. I've had it for ages, but I knew that one day I wanted it for something like this. So we've got a hardware section, an ironmongery section here, just bits that random, they've been paid for on other jobs, and we might not use for a long time, but they're here, and now we can actually see them. We've got a little bit of a decorating bit, so we've got roll of arms, just bits and pieces that one day we may need, and we've got them here, but we have to tell the guys to go and have a look. We've got cameras everywhere as well, so we can actually zoom in on the cameras and see what we've got. Got my trusty fire! Gonna make 2 more of them. Managed to ship the other ones off. Got a section of like metro tiles. Why we always inherit like a box of tiles? What's the point of keeping a box of tiles or half a box? But like for example, white metros, use them all the time. So we've got these here. These things, expensive wardrobe holders. We make the same wardrobes for this client every summer. We've got poles. It's just all bits and pieces, plumbing stuff that you'll one day you'll need, and we can send the boys here for it. So in here, we're not as far on, but we're working our way. This is where we keep lengths of stuff. So we've got lengths of timber, lengths of pipe, but finally you can actually see what you've got. We've also got things like doors that were mismeasured. Yeah, annoyingly, they were like a 3K set of doors. It was a mismeasure. We took it on the chin, we put new ones in, but now we've got them, we might be able to use it on another job somewhere, or they might just sit here forever and gather dust, but at least we know they're here. And radiators, yeah. I don't know how, but we managed to always over-order a radiator or 2, and 4 shower trays. That is one over order that. But what's happened there is when we're doing the big student schemes, you can be doing 30 bathrooms on one scheme. So every now and again, one goes missing, one gets over ordered, one's the wrong size. But now I can pretty much see everything that's here. And it just gives me the confidence that if we send people down here or we look on the cameras, we can see it and we've got half a chance of using it. Because actually thinking about it, I said, oh, there might be a few grams worth of bits in it. There's probably tens of £1,000s worth of stuff here. Not necessarily what we paid for it, but what we can sell it for with profit and what it'll also stop us buying it for. So yeah, it's a bit of a luxury space this, and it is adding to our overhead. But honestly, I believe in it. I believe you should always be efficient and recycle your stuff back into your projects. And you know, you might need something as an emergency and you've got it. You're not having to wait for a merchant to open or hope they've got it in stock. We've got it. So yeah, bit more to do, but we're getting there. I've had a few people message me saying, why do I always wear the same thing? And it's not because I can't afford to buy more clothes, but I actually always wear the same thing because I just want one less decision to have to make in the morning. Literally, like, as soon as I get up, there's a message on my phone, people need an answer on something. Whereas I literally know that I can go to my wardrobe. I've got about 3 of these. I've got 10 pairs of these that I always dye, which I told you previously. And I wear the same thing every day. And I know there's a lot of other business people that are like that. Steve Jobs, and I'm not comparing myself to Steve Jobs, but he always used to wear the same thing, the roll neck and the jeans. I just don't want that decision. I have got other clothes, and I've got nice clothes that I wear at weekends every now and again. Although I have been known to wear an EveryTrade t-shirt on a night out. I'll be honest, that's true. But yeah, I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments, but I just know that I like that. It keeps me warm, keeps me dry. It's comfy. I'll just wear it. So yeah, one less decision to make. So I'm back at HQ now. Just come downstairs to the workshop, and the machine is back. Now, I've been having a look at this machine, and like I said, it's a bit of an old girl, even though it's not got super high hours on it, and we've really looked after it. And I wouldn't say we absolutely batter it, but it needs a bit of TLC. And I've had an idea about giving it a bit of a glow up, as the kids say. So I'm thinking we strip it back, we'll really give it a full service overhaul, do all that sort of stuff, but I want to spray it black. Now I've seen a few machines spray it black, and I know that the purists won't like it, but I'm never going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it until it literally dies. So I'm going to get Dale and Warren, our surface repair guy that you met last week, to give this the once over. And then I'm wondering whether to start doing a standalone video, doing some standalone videos, and this could be one of them. But yeah, I'm going to get Dale to get crack on that, because we're actually in the market and buying a new little micro, so it won't matter if this is out of action for a little bit. But these machines, anyone that knows micros knows that the Yamaha SV08's good machines. I mean, depends. It depends what you're into, really. You know, people talk about JCB. Some people love Bobcats, and the one we're getting is a Bobcat. But this has been great. Never let us down. I've had it for about 7 or 8 years now. Never let us down. And then you'll notice behind, got another job in for Dale. Honestly, he's gone nuts. This one here, again, is exactly why we came up with this offering. Plasterer, clutch is gone. We helped recover it back here. We're priced the clutch. We've had to buy a bit of special tooling for this. So there is ongoing investment, but we'll have this back on the road by close of play Friday, all being well, and he'll be back at it, back at work in his van Monday morning. So it's just been great. But the problem is now, which I'm finding, is we're getting quite a bit of work. So it's managing Dale's time. Dale's out on another job at the moment, so this has got to wait. We can't start this until tomorrow. So it's getting me in the mood for some growth. That, but love it though. What a nice problem to have. Things are taking shape on this side, and I love it. I'm learning stuff every day about this whole thing. And I know people say, "Oh, don't get into mechanics." Honestly, it's the most frustrating industry. But I'm not trying to change the world or take over the world, but just having a little small piece of the pie. Over in our extension project, it's finally taking shape. And you'll remember last week, we managed to crack on with the internals. Well, the plasterers are in there now, sorting the garage out and doing their stuff. firstly, I want to tell you about the trommel, right? So it's good to go now if we want to do it.
Yeah.
So the deal is, I'll show you now.
I've seen them videos of the trommel. There's 2 different ones though now, isn't it?
Yeah, so that one that you've seen there, that's not the one we're getting. This one is designed specifically
For us.
yeah. Based on what Dave has spec'd.
So what is the griddle then? The griddle's different?
Yeah, no, so it's the way it'll feed our other machine. So the idea is, I'll show you now, we've done a drawing of it.
Well, so you can specify what spout you want then going out?
All sorts. Yeah, the grid and so the idea is that it'll get rid of the bigger pieces and get more out of it. It draws more of the finer soil out of it, and then you'll then it'll drop into our other screener and then really screen it down to like really high quality soil.
It's got to be always dry as well.
Yeah. So the finance deal we've done is they'll fund the down payment now. Yeah. It's like £5,000 or 5% I think it is, and then the balance is paid out when it's ready for delivery.
5% deposit, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, we've got to pay the VAT on it though.
The VAT is the deposit. So I think they take that down. But yeah, so the VAT is the deposit, but then defer the VAT for 3 months. We've had to buy another 3-phase generator so we've got the other 3-phase.
Because we've got the other one's not big enough.
No, but we can sell that. We'll be able to sell that. But
so
I need to check.
You've got a screener, so that screener we've got there.
No, that works with this one. This sits underneath it. That's the whole idea. So then this one.
So you can still run the screener and the trommel
on this new one. Off this new one. Yeah, which is like $6,000.
From them.
Yeah, but we're putting it through the finance as well. So what me and Al are discussing here, we're just about to purchase another piece of kit for the yard, which will help us with the processing of clay, hopefully. We've spec'd something up actually with Dave from D&J. He's getting a very similar piece of kit, and they're getting made at the same time. And we've managed to negotiate a pretty good rate because of that. Spitfire Engineering are making it. So we've just done the finance deal there, and it might be interesting to talk about how we finance some of our assets, because we have quite a lot of kit and vans and stuff like that, and we finance them all in different ways. And I won't go into the details of all of them now, but there's different ways. There's finance lease, there's hire purchase, there's a few ways of doing it. But this piece of kit that we're buying now, it's getting made. It's a 6-week lead time, but they want a deposit now. So the facility that we've got in place for it, they're going to pay out the deposit now, which I think is 5%, and then we're going to, as soon as we take delivery, they'll pay out the balance, and then that's going to be spread over 60 months. That's 5 years. And we've done a business plan where basically we think over that 5 years it'll more than pay for itself with what we're going to be able to produce with it. We do something similar with the vans. We do a combination of hire purchase and finance lease, mostly finance lease, where technical and finance lease, I don't think we own the actual van, the asset.
Technically, no.
No, exactly. But so essentially you'll pay a small deposit, you'll basically lease the van back from the finance company, if that makes sense, and you can claim the VAT back on the purchases, and at the end of it you have what's called a balloon payment or a settlement figure, and if you do it sensibly and you look after the vans and keep the mileage sensible, then
should be equity in the
you should have equity, and we pretty much always have equity in all our vans. It's been good actually. Like I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, what we've done is rather than sell, we normally like basically sell it to a third party, pay off the finance, and we can keep the equity. But rather than do that, we've refinanced because we've got a mechanic here now in Dale and stuff, and the van market is toppy at the moment. You're not getting a lot for your money. There's not a lot of stock out there still. Although I'll probably get about 50,000 people message me now trying to sell me vans. But the prices are high. Definitely, price of borrowing is high still, and actually, ironically, the price of used is still strong.
Yeah, so especially for like black vans as well.
Yeah,
vans are
which are hard to find. Yeah, definitely. So what we've done, we've refinanced 5 of our vans. We're going to get some of the equity back out and pay down some other stuff, and we get to keep the vans, which we know are in good condition. There's still like
payments are the same as well, aren't they?
Yeah, payments are the same. If actually we're slightly up on the payment. So from a cash flow point of view, it's exactly the same, and we're not tying up a big chunk of money. But what Alex and I are doing now, we're using this meeting today to talk about some assets that we want to purchase for the yard. So we've signed off on this piece of kit, which we'll bring to you when we get it delivered. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to change the game for us there, because we're going to be able to set up almost like a production line to process some of the soil and stuff that we've got. So that we're working on that. But also there's a chance for a 13-ton digger. So it's 5:25 on Wednesday, and me Danny, the man that shall never appear on camera because he's far too good looking for YouTube, are doing another late one. The man is clocking some overtime at the moment. He'll get paid, but I won't. But that's business, isn't it? That's what it's all about. So again, we're now in another round of value engineering, that big job that we're tendering for. We're close now. We still don't know if we're going to get it, and I think next week we should find out one way or the other. But I reckon we've racked up some man hours on this price now. But it is what it is, isn't it? You've just got to do it. But it's all about making sure that the information is accurate anyway. But we're just tweaking bits and pieces now, shaving off a little bit here, a little bit there, trying to get it within the client's budget. So if we don't get it, I don't get too emotionally attached to these things. I'd love to get it, and we love working with this client. But there's other opportunities if we don't get this. But it just blows my mind that we've probably put in I don't know, 120 hours of our time just to get to this point, to be in the decision making. It'll just come down to a decision like that, and whether we get it or we don't. But if we do, great. It's a challenge anyway. But if we don't, everything happens for a reason, and I genuinely believe that. But yeah, I reckon another 20 minutes and we're done, and hopefully that's it. This job is put to bed, and it's with the construction gods or the client. See you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Thursday and I'm on site at our new build project, and I've come to see how the boys are getting on. We're getting there with this job now. We're nearly at a point where we can get off site. So let's take a look. So I'm upstairs in one of the lofts, and probably the worst job in construction is now taking place, which is insulating. Cutting down PIR board, horrible. I think one day they're going to come out and say it's really bad for you. The boys are using mass and stuff, but it's still a horrible job. It gets everywhere. I mean, to be honest with you, mineral wool, rock wool's the worst, but yeah, it's starting to take shape now. So on this job here now, as far as we're taking it, is literally insulation. The first fixers are in, doing the M&E. We're finished off the insulation, and that's us done in this unit. So we're getting there. We've now got windows in pretty much all the units now, so we're pretty much as close to being watertight as we can be. The roof is going on the lower extensions, which I'll try and get in there and show you in a minute. But yeah, we're not far off. I reckon we're probably 2 weeks away from being out of this job, and then it's over to the client to do all his second fix. We did tender for the work, but he's gone with someone else, which is fine. I don't mind. Can't win them all, can you? So I'm here with Mark and Ben, the Ant and Deck of window fitting. These are the best window fitters in this room right now, 100%. Now these boys do all our windows and doors. Every now and again we can't get hold of Mark because he's a very busy man, so we have to get our boys doing it. He gets upset with me, but I always send him a nice text to make up. And this is Tom, one of my best friends, who I see once every 4 to 5 months when he needs something. He rang me this week, I got really excited, but he wanted to use our computer to look at a code fault on his car. But still, it was nice to catch up with you.
That's not just me, you can...
No, I'm not like that.
You can ring me, you know. Your phone does dial out.
Oh, I'll be ringing his summer because he's got a boat, so I'll be ringing him. But yeah, if you ever need any windows or doors or anything in the Manchester, where'd you come from? Probably Manchester, really.
South Manchester.
South Manchester. Let me know, I'll give you a good number because these two will be too busy. So I'm in the first unit now and the plasters are in. It's probably the messiest part of the job, but it's the bit where once done, the job starts to feel like it's getting towards the end. Again, I've banged on a few times about this. The problem with these houses, this project, is everything's so small. So basically, the lads are really having to fight over space, and we're here and their plasters are here, and it's all a bit hard work, but just got to crack on, haven't you? So I'm around the back now, and as you can see, the boys are now battening the extension roofs off. So as I said before, we are very close to being watertight on this job. All the doors and windows are in apart from the front doors. We leave the front doors off till last because they'll only end up getting scratched by all the second fixers coming in. So yeah, Jamie and Mackenzie now doing the bit on the back, have this smashed in. How long, Jay, on this bit? When do you reckon you'll be done?
Find out today and then get the tiles loaded up tomorrow.
So job done by tomorrow, I reckon. Because what's time? Time is money. So I'm just looking over the edge of the scaffold here at the back of this job, and honestly, this is a problem. I know what's happened here. Everyone's just dumped their stuff, not thinking, oh, it'll do there, it's out the way there. But no one's actually thought about how we're going to deal with this. And the issue is, the site is so tight, as I've said before, you can't get anything in. You can't get skips on the job. grabs, you can't get big grabs on the job, so we have to get our baby grabbing. So what I'm thinking is, if you see there, I'm thinking about we're going to try and get our baby grab back there and just get a load of manpower down here and just handball it off. It's a messy job. It shouldn't have got like this, to be honest, and I'm not happy about it, but we'll have to just deal with it. I'm going to go away and have a chat with Charlotte, the project manager, and get a plan together, because we're just kicking this can down the road, and it just needs to be addressed. It's annoying though that I have to flag things like this. We need to stay on top of things like this. So last week you saw my nephew Thomas, the apprentice with the skinny arms, nowhere near as big as mine, and I was referred to someone called Mackenzie, our other apprentice, and this is the man here himself who actually is doing really well. And tell us what's happened at college.
Oh no, they do this thing called a skills build, where colleges from all over come together to do a competition, and they do different ones like first fix, second fix, and last year they did a roofing jig, and select few get chosen for it, and we went to compete for it, and I was one of the lads that went to...
Go on, lad, this is what I mean about apprentices. How long have you been with us for now?
Coming up to 3 years now.
Yeah, and so you've nearly done your second year now, or?
Yeah, just getting the portfolio done, and then...
Yeah, then you'll be a fully qualified.
Pretty much there.
And then, how old are you again?
19.
When are you going to learn to drive?
Trying.
Right, we'll get that sorted, and then the next step is we get him in a van. We have to pay him more, a little bit, not too much, and then he leaves us. No, he doesn't. Then he stays, and then we get you on jobs on your own.
Never.
Loves it. No, I love it. It's good. This is what I mean, no apprentices. If you get the right ones and they're good and they've got the right attitude, they can fly. Some come on the phone too much, unreliable. This lad, Graphs, works with Jamie. Jamie's showing him the ropes. So I'm buzzing for it. So well done, lad. Proud of you.
So
that's it. Site visit done. Pretty happy with the progress there. We're nearly at the end of this job now, but every time I come to this project, I observe the same thing, how tight the site is and how messy it really quickly becomes. But I've just checked in with Charlotte, the project manager, and apparently there's a site clearance booked for this afternoon, there's a grab booked for this afternoon, and then we're going to get our heads together back at HQ to work out how we're going to clear that backyard before we get off the job. But we're getting there now, we're close. We've got work booked in, so we need to get out of here and get on to the next projects. A few weeks ago, you remember one of our extension projects that we finished at the end of last year, but we only just managed to get it rendered. Well, finally, the boys have been in, snagged the full job off, and it's finished. So at the unit, I've just bumped into our surface repair extraordinaire that is Kevin Webster, stroke the working man's Mark Wright, stroke Warren. Yeah, very, very, very handsome man. Not my type, bit too tall for me. But as I mentioned, his actual main skill set is that he repairs, services. Some people know him as Magic Men. Now, we don't really deploy him enough in that, and I'm worried that he's getting a bit rusty. And he always talks a job down and then does a great job. So I thought we'd do a little experiment. So I've got a hammer and a chisel, and we've got a little bit of work. Come in a bit here, Ian, because I want you to get close on this. We've got a little bit of work.
Just go easy on it, you know.
Well, let's see. So I'm gonna cause a little bit of damage. Now, we've already used this on another job elsewhere, so it's not like I'm wasting it. So I'm gonna pick a place that's say there. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a yeah.
Oh, God.
Right. So have a look at this here now. So Warren, come in close.
So look.
What do you reckon? Is that enough damage for you or not?
Oh, you could do a bit more.
Oh, he's getting confident. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what. Yeah, so it's got a few marks on there now. Yeah.
Why don't you just do a C? It's your
Oh,
initial.
yeah. You're getting...
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Right, so... Oh, we've got this here now.
Oh, wow, you've got a nice lip there, but don't worry, we'll leave that.
Right, okay, so this is it, right? So here's the challenge, yeah? So we're going to now shoot and see what Warren can do with this. And if he doesn't do a good job, he's forever, from this day forward, known as Kevin Webster, Britain's worst repairman, snagman. So, do you reckon you can sort that?
Yeah,
Right.
I reckon, yeah.
Right, so we'll pop back tomorrow and we'll see how he gets on. So, that is Thursday dealt with. I don't normally jump on at the end of the day in the car, but I thought, you know what, I've got something that I'd want to share. So, I wonder how many of you guys feel the same as me when you've gone and done a proper day's work. And I know it's harder for a lot of you on the tools because you are proper. I've got so much respect for tradesmen because they're out there working in all sorts, getting caked in it, noise, cold, rain. You've got it harder than me, but I give all my energy in different ways. I put so much energy into making things work, trying to grow things, dealing with problems. I mean, you'll know, like in this game, if my phone rings, it's because there's a problem. Rarely does my phone ring and someone says, "Oh, Chris, great news, this has happened." I mean, you get that every now and again, but not that often. Normally, the phone rings and it's, "We need to sort this. This has gone wrong. This is broken. We need to pay for this." And you find yourself literally just troubleshooting all day, and that has like an effect. And I'm on my way home now, and I know that I'm going to get in the house and Parker, my son, Harmony, my daughter, you know, my wife, Rachel, they're going to want my time and my attention because they've not really seen me all day. And I feel like they get the dregs of me sometime, and it weighs heavy on my mind. Like, I go in and I just sometimes just want to lie on the sofa and browse YouTube or whatever. You know, or sometimes I've got to do that little bit of extra work, or, you know, and you know, my son wants to play football, and I feel really bad, and I carry a lot of guilt. And I don't know if you guys feel the same, or whether it's just me, but I don't think it is. And I find it really hard. It's weird, you know, particularly like in the winter when it's darker. You just come in, I just want to go to bed, but I don't, because my mind's so active and I can't sleep. So sometimes if I'm being disciplined, I'll come in and my food's ready and I get a boost from eating. So I eat quite early, so I'll eat at like 5:30 because that gives me that little kick of energy. Or I'll just jump in the shower straight away and like try and wake up. I know people say I'll go for a walk or whatever, or, you know, I'm lucky I've got a little gym in my house so I can go there, but that's the last thing I want to do because I'm so drained and exhausted from being in work and just dealing with issues. It's taxing. It's like, I don't think people realise, and I think particularly in our game, in the construction industry or whatever industry you're in, to be honest, if you are on the tools and then you're running your own business or you've got a job with responsibility, it's draining. It's it can really like take it out of you because it's your energy that like is zapped out of you, particularly by people that moan. I can't work with people that moan. I call them emotional vampires, and I've had them in the past where they just suck the enthusiasm out of you because they want to transmit their own moaning onto you, and I can't deal with that, and I have to get those people out of my life, and that can be hard because that can be family members as well, and that's something else. But yeah, I'm just trying to G myself up now, wake myself up, and try and get in and give my family the time and energy that they deserve. But I know that I've had nights where I've swerved that, and I've just literally lay on the sofa and browsed, you know, just not really like, you know, just not really give them anything, and barely even spoken to them. And I remember once my daughter was like, she was doing like an impression of me, and she's like, "Look, it's Daddy," and she had a phone, and it was just like I was constantly glued to my phone, and I mean, it's just the way the world is these days, and you're always contactable, aren't you? But it's sad, and it weighs heavy, and I hope that one day, you know, I don't regret that. I hope I don't regret that, but it is what it is, you know. On the plus side, I'm trying to provide an amazing life for my kids and for my family, and hopefully they'll respect me and thank me for the sacrifices that I've had to make, but I don't want their thanks. I just want them to. I want them to love me. Obviously, I want them to respect me, and I want them to be glad and set an example to them. So when they start their working lives, they have had a role model to look up to, and that'd be me. Someone that's like really just gone out there, not particularly like talented or gifted or academically brilliant or anything like that, but just had ideas and put them into action and created a life for us. Sorry to get deep on the way home. Morning. We're on one of our extension projects, and you'll remember this from last week. This is one we've had nightmares with the groundworks. Paul, project manager extraordinaire, on the rake. This is what I like about Paul. He gets his hands dirty. Paul, put the rake down, son. Let's have a chat. Come and see. Come and see Uncle Chris. Let's have a talk.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out now.
What's happening on this job, mate? I know I've noticed it. That way, that black cloud. That way, black cloud.
We're all right over there, though.
Yeah, but I think the wind's blowing that way, so I think I don't know. But it's been raining pretty much every day. But the brickies have done well, and we're all up to my head, which isn't very high, to be honest. But we're moving. So what's the plan, Paul?
So the lads are getting up. As you can see there on that left-hand side, are getting up to that course today. Goalposts are coming today. Getting dropped off. They're going to go in on Monday.
When's the crane coming? So we don't need the crane for the posts?
No, they're 140 kilos, so I'll get one on one and you can get one on the other.
Not a problem, yeah. And then, but when we get the main steels in, we're craning them in?
Yeah. So it's like a 8 metre long one.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 here, 2 inside as well, which are crane all around.
So when do the brickies reckon they'll be at wall plate?
They'll be finished by the end of next week.
Class. Yeah, so we're going to catch this job up now. What we're doing at the moment, what Paul's doing is we're bringing in a bit of crush. It's an absolute mud bath here. It's like the trenches. So we're bringing in some crushed hardcore, some of our crushed hardcore, although it just looks like mud too now, it's been mixed in, just to create a bit of a semi-hard standing for the boys to work. I'm going to start pricing that into every job. I was saying this to Paul before, is like, we don't really price for any of that, but we're going to. We normally leave landscape and stuff till the end of the job and let the customer decide what they want to do, see if they've got any money left. But I think just to create somewhere where the guys can work, going to start pricing to put a bit of a hard standing in, because you can't work in this mud. It's outrageous, especially because it's literally rained. It's literally rained every day, hasn't it? For like this weekend,
the last 6 years, I think.
So it's ridiculous, isn't it? But no, apparently we're due an hour of sun in August. Yeah, hopefully.
Right to finish it
but make sure you put your sun cream on.
Yeah.
So let's have a look inside anyway. Tell you what. It is hard running all these companies, constantly grafting. Especially the other day, I got a really bad injury from the keyboard. I was typing, I got my fingers stuck between the delete key and the enter key. It really hurt, actually. But yeah, for some reason there's a sun lounger on site. These lovely customers have donated one to the lads so they can relax whilst it's raining. But there's only one between about 8 lads, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm really impressed with how the brickies have done on this. I mean, literally it took us ages to get out of the ground because of all the issues with the piling and the background and the drainage. They've been waiting. They finally get on site and then it rains solidly, and it's not just drizzle, it's hardcore rain. But that's just being a builder in the north. I mean, I think it's being a builder in the UK, isn't it? Especially like those trades that work outdoors, landscapers, bricklayers, ground workers. I feel sorry for them because it must be pretty depressing having to really care so much about the weather. But we persevere. We're not made of sugar, as I say. So yeah, let's crack on. Yes, it's raining. Perfect. We had about 6 minutes of dry weather. How much did you lay in 6 minutes, boys?
Nothing.
Did quite well, really. So I'm here with Adam and Steve, our brickies. I don't know how these boys managed to still make so much money when literally it rains every day. How do you do that, boys?
We're just really good at what we do.
You are really good. You managed to like literally lay about 100 courses in about 6 minutes. But seriously, on a serious note, how do you deal with the weather when it's so bad?
We always try and plan it so if we can do internal works like we have done some knock-throughs, we'll try and do that. But obviously, the last few weeks have been really.
Do you never like find it depressing though? Honestly, that like literally some days you wake up and it's literally raining every day.
You can't. You just got to work in and out all day. Get what you can done.
Honest question. Are you actually glad that you are bricklayers though? Yeah. I mean, do we ever wake up and thought, oh man, I should have been a plasterer? You wouldn't want to be a plasterer, would you? You wouldn't.
Wait for summer and then they'll be moaning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That
pros and cons. If you got to get you down, you just got to crack on.
Yeah, but you got to make hay when the sun shines as well. When it's dry, you boys throw it up, don't you? So yeah. Do you like working for us?
Yeah, it's good.
What about me? What about me? Is
You're alright.
Not bad.
yeah. on a out of 10, how good looking would you say I am?
Well, not as good looking as us, so probably.
That's true.
about 5.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, these two, lovely couple. Have you managed to adopt a kid yet, you two?
No.
Not yet.
All right. Well, let me know and I'll help you out. Cheers, boys.
Adopted.
Yeah, I can be your kid. Daddy. Good site visit. Happy with the progress despite the rain. And yep, look, it's raining again, but we've just got to persevere and crack on. And hopefully we'll get a bit of dry weather at some point in the next 1 to 2 years to get his job finished. But we move. So back at HQ now. It's good to see that job moving on, albeit stop-start in the rain. It's annoyingly stopped raining now, but it's due to rain again soon. But it's what it is. We're so weather affected in this industry. I had someone send me a message on Instagram, and I was going back and forward with him, and he was saying, how do I think the industry is at the moment in terms of work and work coming up? And honestly, I hadn't really thought about it until he asked. And I can say that I do think that there is a quieting down of work, and I do think that there's less work out there at the moment. Now, some people say, oh no, we're stacked, we're busy and everything, and that's great. And it depends on what you do, what part of the industry you're in, and how much work you need to keep you or your business busy. For us, we need a lot of work to keep busy because we've got a lot of men out there. But we track the leads coming into this business, and we're definitely getting less inquiries than we used to. Me personally, I'm really happy about it because we got far too busy last year to the point where I don't think we're as good as we could be, and the jobs were making less profit than we've ever made. We are quieter now than we were then, and we make more money. So people get really hung up on the amount of work, and I sometimes think that you can overtrade and you can be far too busy and you're chasing your tail. You end up taking on more men to try and do more work, and the quality's not as good, and you end up chasing your tail and you're losing money that way. Your snagging lists are longer, your wastage is bigger, and we found that a lot, particularly when you start scaling up. And that's a thing, people out there looking to scale the businesses, these are the things you've really got to keep your eye on. The wastage. We worked out that, say, every single one of our guys, at one point we had 60 lads on. If they basically arrived half an hour late or left half an hour early, or we got half an hour less productivity from them, we were into tens of thousands that we were losing each month because of just that inefficiency. And that's the thing. So the fact that it is a bit quiet at the moment, it doesn't really bother me. But it's easy for me to say that because we've been around for quite a long time, and work kind of tends to find us, and we've got good repeat customers. But what I do, if I'm ever feeling like our pipeline is quiet, I hammer social media, and Instagram and Facebook and maybe now even YouTube's been so powerful for us. And what I tell people, if you do want to run a really good social media profile in this game or in any business, I always just say, just tell the story. Talk about how you're planning to do a job. Talk about when a job goes wrong. Talk about how you sorted out a problem. Talk about your plans for the future. Really put a face to the brand, because people buy from people. And that's been so powerful for us. I really embraced social media, particularly Instagram, about 4-5 years ago. And I've slowly ramped it up to a point where I got too much because we were getting too much work coming in from it. So I had to step back from it a little bit. I actually got a bit too addicted to it, hence one of the reasons why I went to therapy, because I was obsessed with it. Because basically, you can put a message out there and you can win work and make money from it. So if you feel like you are quieter, that's when you really need to start pushing your marketing. Maybe spend some money on your marketing. There's loads of ways. There's AdWords, which are PPC, which I'm not a huge fan of in this game because you can burn a lot of money. But the best form of marketing is, in my opinion, social media. Get out there, tell your story, post every day. Tell a story, introduce you, talk about your team, talk about your customers, talk about where you've made mistakes, talk about how you corrected the mistake, and watch what happens. Slowly but surely the work comes in, the inquiries grow. And what happens is people will recommend you, even though they've never even used you, they'll recommend you because they've seen you. They feel like they know you on social media. That happens to me all the time. We'll go to a job and I go, oh, how did you recommend us? When I went, was it social media? They go, yeah, it was Instagram, but it wasn't me, I don't follow you. Or I didn't follow you, it was my
friend or my sister or whatever, they've been following you for years and they say you're a really good company. So yeah, so I wouldn't worry if anyone's worried, because I think once, you know, we get a new political party in government and things will change. You know, if Labour get into power, things will change. I think interest rates will come down, which will boost spending across the board. And these things are peaks and troughs. I've been at it 15 years and I've seen it do. We started like that because we started in recession. I've seen it do that, that and that. So it's just a cycle. Yesterday, I set Mr. Magic Man Warren a little challenge with his hammer and chisel, and we've put him to the test. And today he's tried to sort that little issue out.
So this is the damage that Chris has done on the worktop. So what we've done is we've took all the loose bits off. Anything that's loose or flapping about, we want to get rid of that. So we want a solid surface to work on. So now we've done that, we've dremeled round. There's no loose areas. That's solid now to be fixed. So what I'm going to do now is I've taped off around the area. I'm going to now fill it. So there's the filler there. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to tint this just to get it as close to the background colour as we can. I'm going to get that filled, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get it sanded down, and we'll get it sprayed and then detailed in. So that's the next stage. So now we've filled it. The fill's gone off, it's nice and hard. What we're going to do is now we're going to sand it down, make sure it's all nice and smooth, no lumps in it, and what we'll do is we'll get some paint on there and get some detail in it, and it should be it should look like brand new. So, Chris, your little letter C on there was quite some damage, but next time we might need you to do your full name in letters, you know, with your chisel. Anyway, there's the piece that come out. So that's gone. We've now replaced it all. It's all looking brand new again. It's been lacquered, it's sealed, and it's ready to go. So that is Warren. What a clever guy that guy is. So what happened there was, I think I've sort of touched on this before, he came to my house to snag some works that we'd actually done, and we had some glue all over my balustrades or something. It was an accident that happened, and I contacted the company he worked for. He came, and the minute I met him, I knew that he'd be good for us. His attitude, his professionalism, his sort of demeanour when dealing with me was amazing. Then he did what he did, and I was like, oh, there's something in this. But he actually told me he wanted to do more beyond the surface repair stuff. And I was like, what else can you do? And he said, oh, I can tile, and I can do this, and I can do that. And I thought, you know what, there might be something else. So there and then, I offered him a job. I didn't actually have a role for him. I didn't have a sort of surface repair requirement. Every now and again, we'd use someone, but not that much. And yeah, I just sort of went with my instinct, offered him a job there, and then a week later, he'd given his notice in at a company that he'd been with for 5 years. And he's worked for us for nearly 3 years now, and he's such a great guy. I love him. He's great for morale. He'll do anything. We always laugh because one week he's doing one thing, the next thing he's doing something else. We don't get him doing enough surface repair stuff. But I mean, and probably this is hopefully a way of putting it out there, the fact that we do offer that side of our business. He does window spraying. He's got a window spraying job booked for next week. So multi-talented guy, great for the culture of the company. Makes me laugh like not many people can make me laugh like him, and he's a real asset. We've got some great guys at this company, like loads that I haven't managed to introduce you to yet because they're working up in the northeast and things like that. But eventually I'll get round most of them. I mean, some of them don't want to be on camera, but we are nothing without those guys. They are our product on the shelf, and I think the fact that I've been able to build what I've built and get to where we've got to is because of the people I've recruited, either on the tools or behind the scenes. And I'm really proud of them, and I try my hardest to sort of protect them and retain those assets, and that's what they are, they're assets. One thing that's really disturbing me though is that there's some blue skies in Manchester, which is really annoying because it's at the end of the week and at the end of the day. But look at them, man. Look at them. It's getting me in the mood for a holiday. So, it's that time of the week again. I like to share my sorrows with you all. Pay run time. Like I said, do like paying people when the money's there to pay people. So, state of play is, we've got some tidy invoices due into us today. But as of 2:45 on a Friday, that money's not here yet. So we've got things we can do. We can shift money about from other businesses and stuff in savings and stuff. But if that money lands, it's really easy. We just get it done. So it's quite big numbers we're talking as well. It makes our life a bit stressful, doesn't it? But
it's a bigger pay run this week as well. Probably about 25% higher because of the stuff we've got going on in other cities. So we need obviously to get that money in to sign off payments, make them.
So we've got some. We've got a big job doing lots of windows that we're paying on pro forma, so their windows have got to be paid for before they've gone into manufacture. So that needs to be sorted as well. So it's just the way it is. Professional juggling. That's what we always are. That's what we are. We're financial jugglers, but we make it work. More importantly, though, what do we reckon about this little
shell suit?
Not a shell suit.
Alex designed this.
Yeah, probably because he scouts.
Yeah.
No, that's a windbreaker. It's not a shell suit, and that's actually spat on it as well, so it definitely works.
Did you feel the spit? No, it saturated through that. We need to send this back.
Yeah, another Temu purchase. Yeah. I actually was going to keep that for myself, but it does look better on KTM.
Appreciate the feedback. What do you reckon? I can't ask Ian, can I?
Oh yeah, maybe put it in the comments. What do you reckon? Yeah.
I think this has got to be a communal thing for... Jay's got to get one of these next because you can wear this for footy as well.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah.
It is actually. I wonder if it's actually waterproof as well. Not that important. Over at Preferred Joinery, when we showed you around last week, we were talking about putting a display area for some stairs. We've actually started to put that together now. We've got some stairs over in production there that are ready to go out to the customer now. That is getting really busy, that company. We've had loads of inquiries from last week's video, which is amazing, which again is another brilliant byproduct of YouTube. So all being well, the money will land and we won't need to start moving money about, get people paid and go home. Another Friday at EveryTrade, isn't it? So that's it for another week at EveryTrade. It's been a good week this week. We bought that banger, which I think will be an interesting little bit of content for the channel, and we're going to keep you posted on that. Maybe do some separate standalone videos. As I say, my ambition is to start getting 2 videos a week, and Hollywood and I are trying to work out how we're going to do that. But we'll get there, because honestly, I absolutely love putting the content out. I love the feedback, I love the comments. I like the feedback, good and bad, so if it's bad feedback, let me have it, and I'll always respond, and I'll always own it, and I'll never try and defend the undefendable. But that's it. Another week at EveryTrade in the can. I'll see you next week, guys. Click here to watch last week's video, and click here and here to watch other videos, and click there to subscribe to the channel.